First, I'd like to welcome all the participants who have joined so far into the CEO Club webinar on post-pandemic. Second, citizenship and European Union residency solutions. This is the topic for today's webinar, and we are very honored to have Mr. Mimoun Assraoui, the CEO of Reef Trust, and which is one of the largest organization, and also a valued member of CEO Club. CEO Club, as you all may know, that is an international business membership-based organization for decades, and we always covering all subjects for our business community. And today's subject is second citizenship and residency for the business community, the CEOs, the leaders that who are looking for the options for themselves, for their family members. I think this is one of the options that that people can look into for the education of their children, to the future plans and everything. So I think today's topic is very important, and I think we have a great person to talk about today. What is the second citizenship and how does it work? As you know, that today's online event is a part of a CEO Club series of webinars in this current situation where the world is working from home. And I think we all need to educate ourselves every way possible. Let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Mimoun. He's the CEO of the Reef Trust, which is one of the top companies in their own areas. He is a proud French and Moroccan dual citizenship. Who can better talk, who have two citizenship already, has over 21 years of work experience in the Middle East, Japan, France, spending 16 years in United Arab Emirates, based in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, covering family offices, private clients, banks, and non-bank financial institutions. In 2013, he founded Reef Trust, an investment migration advisory headquartered in Dubai, with an expertise in EU residence and second citizenship planning. In the span of 8 years, the Reef Trust has become the global leader in the citizenship and residency by investment in the Middle East and Africa, adding a greater suite of services and international reach to over 12 different countries. Since the merger with Latitude Consultancy Limited in Q3 of 2018, he is the vice chairman of the group and remains the CEO of expanding the Dubai operation. He's very fluent in English, French, Spanish, and also speak Arabic and Japanese. He also is a member of Investment Migration Council and the Japanese Securities Dealer Association. Very impressive bio of him. Let me add also that he is the winner of multiple international awards, including the FTSE Award of 2019, an international award. And so we all are looking forward to hear from him. And let me mention at this time that after his presentation, there will be a question and answer session. So I recommend that each participant, if they have any questions, please put their questions, as many questions in the chat box, and he will answer all the questions after the presentation. And I think this is a perfect time for you to ask question directly with him, and I'm sure that you will be able to add some value to it, when you're planning, So now I hand over to Mr. Mimoun on today's topic, and I hope all the participants enjoy the session, and I will come back at the end here. Thank you very much, Mr. Mimoun, please.
Thank you, Dr. Tariq, for the kind introduction, and it's a great pleasure to be here on the platform. And obviously, we are missing the CEO Club gathering, but we also are lucky to be able to do it digitally. So, very happy to be here with you today. So let's. It's gonna be a presentation about half an hour, including short video at the beginning to present the company and our services in a nutshell. So I will go into details. Obviously, there are more than 20 programs, so I cannot go into details of all the program. We selected a couple of them that gives you an idea about like the citizenship and residency by investment. And then obviously I want to give some times to for Q&As. So this is going to be the most interesting part, because this is where you will answer trying to answer all of the questions that you have. And obviously I'll leave my details if you need to reach out to me by email or call or WhatsApp after that, if you want to take it offline. So let's start the presentation. I think Janeb has a video to be broadcasted before going into the details of the presentation. Janeb, can you hear me? So yeah.
Hello. Let me give you a glimpse of Withtrust's story. In just 8 years, we became the largest citizenship and residency by investment provider in the Middle East and Africa. Withtrust was founded to provide solutions to high-net-worth clients so they can travel visa-free and expand their businesses globally. Our company has helped more than 1,000 individuals and their families obtain a better future. Like our name, our philosophy is based around us. Our clients are like our family, and they trust us to guide them every step of the way. Do you agree, David?
100% right. And speaking about trust, Withtrust is a government-approved agent. We have built strong and long-term relationships with government representatives, with developers, with lawyers, and with partners all around the globe to ensure that we provide the best turnkey solution for residency and citizenship by investment. Our team speaks 15 different languages, and we have a growing global network of 20 offices in different countries. With this network, we provide a 24/7 service to our clients wherever they are in the world. We listen to your needs, we understand your situation, and we will give you a solution that is tailor-made to your case. Isn't that right, Eric?
Of course, David. And I'm proud to say that we don't just offer these programs, we help create them. In fact, our specialized government advisory team has been responsible for the design and implementation of some of the most successful programs in the marketplace, including Anguilla, Antigua, Grenada, Malta, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Our ultimate goal is that if you do decide to make this life-changing decision, that you will think of us.
And be ready to say
Hello to freedom.
Okay, so after this short corporate introduction, let's dive into the presentation that you are all that we're here for here today. So about the topic, so citizenship and residency by investment solutions. So we'll a little bit about our company. So we've been founded in 2013, so been operative for more than 7 years. We have assisted more than 1,000 high-net-worth individuals. The headquarters for Middle East and Africa is based here in Dubai with 30 professionals. So we are the largest operation in Middle East and Africa, with 60 staff globally, with offices in Europe, UK, Jersey, and London. We have also offices in Malta, in Cyprus, in Asia, Vietnam, South Korea, Malaysia, and in Americas, in Canada, Cayman Island, Brazil, and others. We are one of the very few to be international marketing agent in all of the programs that we offer, which includes the Caribbean, in Europe, and in Oceania. So it's you can count them in your hands, the company that can mention about all of this approved agency. So We are not only marketing this product, but we're also assisting governments to create them. And for example, we have helped the government of Anguilla for tax residency. We advise the government of Moldova and Montenegro, and other government advisory mandate. Our group CEO and chairman Eric Major was one of the I would say the initiator of the Malta program, and we have a government advisory team dedicated for this. So this is about the company. So this is in the summary chart of the program that we are offering, both on the citizenship side and the residency. As I mentioned earlier, there's going to be, we'll not have enough time to cover that all, but we will take 2 from the Caribbean, St. Kitts and Grenada. We will look into the Malta citizenship in Europe, talk a little bit about Cyprus. And last but not least, in terms of citizenship, both Turkey and Vanuatu, which are growing in popularity. So this is for the citizenship part. And then we will look at the residency part by looking at 3 residency programs: Portugal, Greece, and Malta. So citizenship by investment, what does that do? What does that mean? It means second passport, obviously, and this is a pure citizenship by investment play. So it's not okay, a golden visa and you get a passport. No, these are dedicated program where you're going to get a citizenship second passport in the time frame of 2 months to 16 months. So 2 months, we'll talk about it, more or less going to be Vanuatu, and 16 to 18 months is going to be Malta. So this one are the only program that can be that are citizenship by investment. Obviously, what does it do? It's improve your mobility, because you have a second passport to be able to travel freely, and most of the applicants that we have are from this part of the world that are, I would say, with a weak passport, less than 100 visa-free countries. So in this part of the world, Syria, Iraq, Yemen. We also have a growing demand from Africa, being North Africa or South Africa, West Africa. Obviously, coming from Asia, China being the largest consumer of this product, but we have growing demand from the usual suspects like Pakistan, India for the residency program, and also like new emerging countries like Bangladesh, without forgetting also like the Russian and CIS countries. So now let's dive in with, I would say, the eldest program. It's been around since 1984. It's called the Platinum brand. All of the common link between the Caribbean program, they are all Commonwealth, and they all give you access to the UK, Schengen area, most of them Hong Kong, Singapore. So more than 140 countries. In the case of St. Kitts and Nevis, it's one of the highest that gives access to more than 151 countries. All of this citizenship, except for Antigua, where we'll see where you have 5 days to stay in. There's no physical requirement to stay in. There's no global taxation for this for these programs, and you can include the family, all the family vertically, husband, wife, and dependent children, and also parents on both sides. So it's a very interesting element of all of this program is the family composition that can be in the program. And St. Kitts is one of the few that have in the Caribbean what we call the fast track option. So that's a good element to have. Now regarding the different options, so it's all of them are done. You would have seen there's it's either you do a donation to the government or you do a real estate investment. And usually donation, in the case, for example, of St. Kitts, for single applicants, it starts at $150,000 plus fees. Or you invest into real estate option at a minimum of $200,000, and that you need to hold that for 7 years. Our recommendation will go for real estate because we've seen, it's not like 5-6 years ago where the real estate, a lot of them were off plan. So right now you have some very strong offering in the real estate in the Caribbean that allows you to invest in these countries. And for example, in St. Kitts and Nevis, you have already finished hotel that is there that you can go on booking.com, make a booking, and book your holidays in St. Kitts. It's an operational hotel, so you have access to this kind of investment in the island. So our recommendation again will go towards to this investment rather than donating and losing the money that you're putting in the donation, and especially since the range and the quality and also the investment quality is strong in this. It improved over the last years. So for St. Kitts, now let's pass on. I'm trying to go at a decent rate so that we reach the 30 minutes cap. But obviously, again, some people are saying can't hear. I'm not sure if you can hear me now.
Yes, I think we can hear you now. Yeah, clearly.
Okay, that's good. Then good good. So now let's go into the Granada, the other Granada citizenship. As I mentioned, they're all part of Commonwealth, but what makes Granada unique, it's his E2 treaty with the USA. So what does it mean, an E2 treaty? So it means you have you can get a residency in the US, temporary residency in the US that you renew every 5 years by way of investing into the USA. And the advantage of the E2 compared to, let's say, EB5, which is a green card, first is the amount. The green card is $900,000, and second, you're not subject to global taxation like the green card. So this is like the greatest advantage of Granada compared to the other Caribbean is E2. In addition, you can include also the siblings, the dependent siblings of the main applicant if they are not married. So this is one of the specificities of Granada. And again, it's well to know that it's one of the 6 countries in the world that have visa-free access to China. So that makes it a strong passport in addition to the USA. Now, in terms of go back to the slides. Okay. So the investment option, same here. It's through donation or through investment. Donation, I will not go back. In terms of the investment in Granada, you have, again, some very strong offering there. Can be shares or title deed. And again, by a great developer with a proven track record. So again, and Granada is one of the islands that has quite one of the highest offerings in terms of real estate and hotels compared to the other island, and it receives a lot of tourists. So clearly, the real estate option is one of our recommended routes. And as you can see here, it needs to be held for 5 years. Yeah, before going into the European citizenship, so this is a nutshell. I chose only these 2. I did not want it to enter into details of the other one, but clearly there's a sister islands, and we are registered, as I mentioned, in all of the 5 countries. So we are not here product pusher. We are here to guide you towards your ultimate goal of what you want to achieve. It can be St. Kitts, can be Granada, but there's been a lot of a very popular program is Dominica, for example, and which recently they opened an embassy in the UAE at the beginning of the year. We were there with the ambassador and the prime minister of Dominica and their excellencies from Abu Dhabi. So Dominica is a popular program. It's also one of the most cost-effective for single and family. So and also great investment products in Dominica. In terms of the other, recently there's been some announcement towards St. Lucia, for example, who reduced their price for family of 4. It's $150,000 for family of 4. And same for Antigua for family of 6. It's one of the cheapest. It's $150,000. Which is a university fund. Again, this is to show you the broad range and spectrum, and we are here will not push you towards one product because we are a registered agent in all of them, but we'll guide you depending on your requirement. It's worth noting that obviously consular presence is important in the country where you are. For example, here in the UAE, there's St. Kitts Consulate, there's a Dominican Embassy, as I mentioned. There's also Grenada, which has a consulate. So, so this is, in a nutshell, the Caribbean. Usually you get the passport in less than 6 months for you and your family, and it's a smooth process. We'll go through it in terms of the requirement and what it requires, and we can answer in the Q&A if you have further questions. Now, after the Caribbean, let's go into the European citizenship. So basically in Europe, you have the two main ones are Malta and Cyprus, and there's been a recent one that has been set up, which is Montenegro, and we have an office in Montenegro. But for the purpose of today, let's discuss Malta and slightly Cyprus to give you some ideas, and we can discuss the other option available in Europe in details, myself or the rest of the team. So Malta, I have to call it, Malta is the Rolls Royce of citizenship. I mean, it's the only one that have the ESTA, that gives visa-free access to the US. It's one of the hardest in terms of due diligence and in terms of complying with all of the requirement of residency. So you apply, you get a residency, then after 12 months you get the approval, but in these 12 months you need to have spent at least 21 days in the country. The rejection rate is the highest because obviously the due diligence is very stringent given the US access and also the European Union, same as Cyprus, but Malta is one step further in terms of due diligence. In terms of the requirement, you will see the contribution amount of 650,000 euros, and then you have to buy a real estate for at least 350,000 euros or lease property for 5 years. And then in addition to that, you need to make an investment into government bond of 150,000 euros. The good thing about Malta is, like, you do all of this investment after your approval, so you can start your process to get the temporary residency card that you get for 2 years. Then once you get approved, you make the big investment. So this is and it's been very popular in our part of the world as well as Africa for ultra high net worth people. Obviously, you will tell me, yes, it's a big amount contribution of 650,000 euros, and we'll come back into that. But clearly, it's also an investment for you and your family for the long term. I mean, if you do the calculation over your generation and the next generation, it's investment into the European Union, into the education, the welfare. So all of that has to be taken into consideration when you take that investment, because it's something that you get. It's like the Piaget. It's not, you're not getting it for yourself, but you're passing it on to the next generation. So obviously, among our clients, some are not willing to lose that much money in contribution. So they have been asking us to find an alternative solution, an equivalent strong passport in the EU. So the solution is Cyprus. Obviously, Cyprus, the difference between Cyprus and Malta. Malta is in the European Union and Schengen area. Cyprus is in the EU, but not Schengen. But in terms of passport, it doesn't make a difference. You can both, with a Cyprus passport, live in Berlin or in Milan, be as an Italian or German. The only difference is you cannot vote. And we've seen some of the clients doing it also for their kids before that Brexit, so that they'll be able to also stay within the UK. We'll see what will happen with the Brexit, but this was the alternative of Malta is Cyprus. If you have that kind of money to invest, obviously it's a big budget, Cyprus, but it's a real estate investment, and you can resell it after 5 years. So our role will be to make sure that you choose the right real estate. So so you're not so you're making a yield, and we will, depending on your requirement in terms of investment, it's going to be ever lower units, or if you want to have a big villa in Ayanapa, we can advise you also on that for lifestyle. These are the European citizenship. We'll talk about two others, which are, I would say, alternatives one, but they are, I would say, last but not least, because they are growing in popularity. Turkey is one of them. Last year, they did more than 4,000 applications. So obviously, Turkey citizenship is it's one of the largest economy, I would say, that are providing this kind of solution, and that has been very successful. And we've seen a lot of interest from this part of the world, from the Arab region, and also from the Iranians, which are limited in their choices, and Iranians allowed in Turkey. So it's been one of the solutions that we've been looking at as a plan B for them. It's been very popular. And when you look at it and you understand the reason of the success, I mean, it's for $250,000, and most of you probably know Turkey, it's a pleasant city, and you invest in a flat in a vibrant capital, and you get a passport from Turkey. So that's been definitely one of the, I would say, the cherry on the cake for all of this for all of these reasons. And given we have great proposition that we can present to our client in terms of yield, it can go as high as 7% per annum, and also some warranty buyback from the developer. After 3 years, you need to have the properties for 3 years, and we're buying it at, let's say, 1 million lira, and then after 3 years, there's a warranty buyback of buying the property. So clearly, with all of the lira devaluation, there's great opportunities in Turkey. So it's a growing demand in this part of the world. Let me just check if you have any questions. Yeah, I will. Loud. Okay, I will go into some of the questions at the end. I will go through them. So Vanuatu now. Vanuatu is in Oceania. Very beautiful and remote country, COVID-free. One of the few countries in the world that is COVID-free, near New Zealand. So it's a nice hideaway. And it's one of the fastest citizenship. So we've seen cases of if we get all of the documents clearly in less than 2 months, getting a citizenship. So which is very quick. In opposition to the other programs, we get the pre-clearance before submitting the file, so it gives you an indication if of pre-approval, and then you can submit, and then there's a sitting. The way it works, so we get FIU approval in a couple of days, then we gather and submit all of the documents for the sitting. That there's a sitting happening every 2 weeks. Then after that, it's very quick. After that, to issue the naturalization certificate and the passport. So we've seen some challenges recently with the passport, because of, obviously, as it's remote and there's been printing machine issues, and obviously everything is in lockdown. But other than that, it's been very quick in terms of the citizenship. So yeah, so it's definitely a growing countries, and you will hear more about Vanuatu in the coming weeks. And recently they had a new government. It's been elections, and very much pushing for the citizenship by investment program and all of the FDIs. So and as I mentioned, all of the one in the Caribbean is also part of the Commonwealth. It used to be a French and an English colony, so give you access to the UK and Schengen, and a lot of the Asian countries. Vanuatu, so right now there's only the donation route, so it's but there's been some talk about like of getting some real estate, but right now the donation route has been the one that the government approved, and it's starting at $130,000 for single, plus you add on for the dependent, for the spouse, and the kids. Yeah. So now, yeah, it's 3:30. So we'll go quickly. That's good. So just on time for the residency. You know, after having discussed the citizenship by investment and the different option in terms of second passport, now let's get into the details of the residency by investment. What does that mean? Mainly golden visa. They have been put in place. They have been there, like the residency in the Canada and the US in the 80s, and also obviously New Zealand and Australia, but brought back to fashion after the financial crisis of 2008, 2009. So where of the some of the European countries decided that it was great ideas to attract FDIs, and we've seen a lot of them popping up at the time, including the Spanish, the Portuguese, the Greek, and the others. The UK was there for quite some time before, the UK investor visa, for example. But this, what it gives you the possibility to the option to be able to relocate in these countries in the future, but with the possibility, for example, staying in Dubai and having a residency in, we'll talk in Portugal, that you keep, that you have, and then you with a minimum requirement to stay there. So, for example, in the case of Portugal, it's going to be 7 days. So let's jump into like the different examples. So the European residency, so it gives you a Schengen card, so that allows you to travel in all of the European country. The physical stay in Portugal, it's limited. It's only 7 days per annum, and you renew your residency year 1, year 3, and year 5. And then after year 5, you can apply for citizenship. But again, you know, it's a residency, and then with an option of applying for citizenship after 5 years. It's one of the strong offering because of the government implication, government support that we've seen in different embassies around the world. In the what we call the CEF, so which is authorities handling all of this golden visa in Portugal, and this has been put in place to attract FDIs, and with also support the local economy and the real estate in those countries. So there are different options. So the law started in Portugal. It's €500,000 real estate investment. Okay, I mean, I have some fees. Yeah, let me go into the presentation and come back to the different questions. So 500. This has been the law, €500,000, buying your own flat, for example. But some of our clients, they don't want to have all of the hassle and buying their own real estate and taking care of their flat, living there, going there for 1 month or 2 months per annum. So they're asking us, is there any other solutions? And they're coming to us, and this is where we specialize. We can help with the selection of the real estate of €500,000 in the big cities, being Lisbon and Porto. We have different clients from different parts of the world where we have actually a team on the ground that's both in Porto and Lisbon that can help for that. And we have our team, the aftercare for our client, making all of the arrangements for you to travel to Portugal and help you in the selection of the properties. But if you want a one-stop solution that includes all of the legal package and all of the investment products without headache, there are option of €350,000. This one is what we call a refurbishment of old building in the big cities. So for example, we have our project in Porto. It's a refurbishment of a old hotel changed into a whole building changed into a hotel with a branded hotel. For example, there's this opportunity, and there's opportunity of €280,000. So if it's a refurbishment in low density area, the threshold goes even lower. So 280,000 euros. And for example, we have this one. We have a project in the south of Portugal in Algarve, and there also have a project near Lisbon. But again, we can give you quotation and information for you and your family. I see some in the chat. If you can please leave your details, emails, and phones, and we'll be contacting you for details. I'll try to answer as many of the questions that are asked. No, I mean, somebody's asking about Portugal. We just doing Portugal, so we mentioned Portugal, and I hope that you get. Okay. So yeah. So again, as I was mentioning, so leave your details so we can come back to you and your questions. Portugal. So another one that has been popular among in this part of the world, and we've seen a lot of interest from Egypt, from some of Palestinians that have requesting that, and also Jordanians, more part of the Levant region, because obviously it's close to the Mediterranean, and we know Greece for its many islands, and it's warm climate and people. So a lot of the people are looking to invest into real estate and get a residency. So the positive thing about Greece, it's a permanent residency since the beginning. There's no minimum requirement. Dependent children up to the age of 21 can be included. In Portugal, for example, it's more 26 years. It's higher. And the possibility to apply for the Greek citizenship after 8 years, but obviously the language test, it's like any other naturalization. It requires some of the knowledge of the country and some of the language. So this is for the Greek residency, and as I mentioned, the threshold is 250,000 euros, and this can be anywhere in Greece. And again, we have some projects that can be in Athens, more commercial and giving a yield, or we can help you with the opportunity to find other places in other part of Greece, being in one of the famous islands, Mykonos, Santorini, and all of that. So we have again partners that can help to select, and also the aftercare service that will arrange your visit to Greece. And so Malta again is coming back, because it's Malta has two. It has a citizenship by investment program that we talked about it earlier, but it also has a residency program. It's an interesting one because it's a government bond. It's we'll see in the next slide, but it gives you, again, in terms of the advantage, it's a permanent residency. It's a very interesting permanent residency to get because it has one of the lowest corporate tax in Europe, and a great place to settle for corporate, small but dynamic island with one of the lowest unemployment rate in Europe, and also attracting a lot of the new technology, blockchain, and all the other technology from Europe. So Malta residency, and the how we get the Maltese residency. So this is an interesting part, which is the investment into the government bond. So it's zero coupon government bond that needs to be held for 5 years. So it's a very safe investment. You can get it for you and your family, and then also by leasing or buying a property for 5 years. So this is the Maltese residency. So we talked about like citizenship and the residency. So now, in terms of requirement, most of them are obviously birth certificate, police clearance from the country you are born, source of fund. All of these elements have to be provided. And obviously some are lighter in terms of documentation, and this is more like for the residency, which is lighter. Citizenship, as it's a passport, Obviously, it's a stringent due diligence, and it's heavier. The residency, there's less requirement, but these are, I would say, in a nutshell, the documents that are required for yourself and the family, and all of them are government supported. And in terms of the investment period, between 3 to 5 years, as we discussed, and we have a team that will be supporting you once we've contracted and once we started the process. This is a hassle-free for you. We'll make it very smoothless because we have a dedicated team that will be handling all of the forms, that will be filling everything for you. You just need to provide us document, and we take care of everything: the translation, notarization. I mean, obviously, we start with the due diligence. The due diligence, we have one of we're using a couple of platforms for due diligence, including DDIQ, including World Check Report, and others, to make sure that we have the proper information and feedback about an applicant. Then after, we will gather all of that information and submit it to the different authorities, being Citizenship by Investment Unit, or authorities in Europe, in Malta or Cyprus, or in the case of Portugal, for example, the SAFE for your application. And then, depending on the programs, there need to be a visit in the countries. In the case of the European program for the biometrics, for Malta, Cyprus, Portugal, or in the case of the Caribbean or Vanuatu citizenship, it's done remotely, and we can work on your application remotely and submit all of your file that we receive in Dubai. So we can even process if you are we had clients from Thailand, from Morocco, from South Africa, and I name it, from Russia, that we handle the application from Dubai. Everything couriered for DHL, translated, notarized, submitted to the unit. We receive all of the documentations in Dubai, and we can DHL to you, or we can collect it to our office. So as you can see, it's very smooth and everything, and especially in this time, or where everything is done remotely. We've processed clients in March, April. We're getting approvals. We're submitting. The governments are working. So we are lucky to be in one of this industry where we can still work remotely, and units are also flexible in terms of the documentation that they required, because they understand that not everybody can get all of the police clearance or the birth certificate or the other paper that are usually required. So they're giving us a grace period to ever submit whatever document, and they can accept it if it's slightly expired, or give us grace period to resubmit a new papers. So this is to give you in a nutshell about like the requirement. But again, as I mentioned, we want to make it hassle-free, and we want you to just want to choose a program together. And once you chose that program, our team will make sure that it's a smooth process and that's going to be minimum disturbance for yourself until you receive your citizenship or residency. So these are the different requirements, and now we will go into the Q&A section. So we have another 10-15 minutes. So now I see one of the questions regarding the global taxation. Vanuatu, was it the global taxation policy? In terms of global tax, there's no global taxation for Vanuatu, and for most of the citizenship programs, only on the island that you are where you are registered. The Dubai contacts. They are here, so you have my email address and my phone number. So please drop me an email with your questions, or WhatsApp, or call. I'm available. Yes, if you can send us the detail. Yes, we'll be sending the details by email. Just make sure that you are registered and we will send to all of the registered the presentation. Thank you, Sachit. Excellent presentation, extremely informative. That's glad to hear that. From Joan Berega, can Nigerian apply for Malta citizenship? Yes, there's no restriction for Nigerians. So that's a good question. Actually, I mean, as I mentioned, there are some restriction for certain countries, but Nigerian, in the case of, there has been some restriction, for example, for the US in terms of the EB5, and Nigeria was one of them, but for Malta, it's not. So most common restricted nationalities are Iranians, North Korean, Sudanese. So as I mentioned earlier, that's why in the case of Turkey, a lot of the quite few Iranians are applying for Turkey for Plan B. In terms of Iranians are limited for the other possibilities are Dominica, but they need to be residing outside of Iran for the last 10 years, and Vanuatu the last 5 years. So this has a restriction. So Joanne, if you can please send me an email or send you details to send you further details regarding Malta citizenship. Thank you. The global taxation. Yeah, Portugal. So hold on the application details. I'm looking. So now, sorry. Yeah, so I'm looking at just, we can do, I mean, for, in terms of, 15, the dependent spouse, $15,000 in the case of Vanuatu. I think, now with COVID-19, do you think people are looking for medical health focused countries to immigrate? If yes, what are these countries? I mean, obviously with European Union in terms of the healthcare system, that's been one of the requirement of our client. So for such cases, for example, Portugal is gives you into the EU, or the Malta permanent residency. But again, this is an immigration play, and we've seen some of our clients looking at the healthcare becoming more and more important. I'm looking at other. We have Gloria Happiest. Good morning from Mexico. That's good morning from Buenos Dias. Zined Al-Abedin, merci pour l'invitation. De rien. It looks like we have from Mexico, French, Morocco. That's good. Abdelaziz from Pakistan and India. From Dubai, that's good. So it's good. We have more than 400 registered today. It's very interesting. I'm looking at other questions. So we have Dr. Faisal, if you can please send all of the I will taking a note on your contact details, and we will be reaching out to you later. But obviously the easiest is just to drop an email again. Yeah, Kaiser, for your email. Okay. Yeah, I'm just Pakistan also. We have Pakistan is one of the countries where we have requests. I'm looking at some further. Montserrat. Okay, Frank, hello from Dubai. Yeah, that's Frank. Nice to see you here from Philippines. Okay, thank you, Ginebat, for also monitoring all of this. Okay, I think in terms of the other question that we have, family composition, as mentioned to you, husband, wife, plus dependent children up to the age of 13 in the Caribbean, depending slightly of the island, so we can do the adjustment. And the parents 55, 60, 65. In terms of the global taxation, we mentioned that the restricted nationalities. So obviously it's every case is different, and we will, as mentioned to you earlier, we are a marketing agent in all of the program that we are offering. So we will advise you to the best of our knowledge. And again, what makes us different is, like, obviously our team, the relationship manager, the processing team that will handle your request from A to Z, and then it doesn't stop there. Once you get your citizenship or residency, we will follow up with all the other requests that you have, being driving license or opening bank account, or this kind of requests that we've seen. And we have, again, a dedicated team looking only at that. So our aim is to make sure that you are not only that from a client you become to an ambassador and to a friend. And we are just, for example, we're celebrating Eid with our clients. We are giving gifts and for Ramadan and for gifts for Christmas, and we're having a personal approach to how we see the client. We are very much client and customer focused. This is what made us who we are, the leader in this industry. We will be continuing to strive to put the client interest at the heart of our company and our firm. This is what we always been doing. So I don't think so. Thank you for your time, all. And obviously we have, as I mentioned to you, we have a team dedicated, not only myself, but on behalf of the team here. And we have a global team of more than 60 professionals in different parts of the world, covering different programs that would not cover, for example, the UK, Ireland, from our London office. From Canada, we do the Canada program. We are also registered in Australia. So this is a nutshell introduction about the firm, our programs, and we'll be happy to help you further. And on behalf of the team, we wish you in advance Eid Mubarak, and stay safe and stay home. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Farid.
Thank you very much, Mimoun, for all this detail regarding the second passport to the residency from US to Australia and New Zealand region. So all over the world, I think you have given a wide variety of the options to the participants, and I think it is very important when you're selecting it, that what is the right place for the passport, because it is good for the family, it is good for the education of the children, and it is always good to make your future plans and everything else. And I think today what I see that is you have all budget options, from low to high. So it all depends on the need of the client or the family, that how they want to approach and what their plans are. And I think the process, I think every country, like you mentioned, that I think every country have a different process, but I think the process is one thing, but I think choosing the right option is number one priority should be. And I think if anybody would like to have one-to-one discussion with the Reef Trust, please do contact them, and I think they will give you the right solution for you. And I think I want to thank Reef Trust, Mr. Mimoun, for his time and giving all the, I know there's a very lot of information you probably have, but I think in 1 hour time, you covered the basics of it, and I think one-to-one meeting is very much required for each one who is interested to look at those options. It doesn't matter which part of the world you are, you could contact Reef Trust anytime. And I think I like to thank the participants that who have joined us today to understand and asking the question and everything else. And I hope that is the today's session was valuable to you, and you have taken some information, and is part of the, like I say, CEO Club series of webinars that we are doing it in this current situation, covering different topics and different key speakers and leaders to share their experience and share their thoughts. So there will be multiple other webinars will be coming soon, like we are planning. And CEO Club is always behind Reef Trust and their professionalism and their trust to their clients. And I think we appreciate the Reef Trust trust to CEO Club also. So I thank you very much again for all the participants and for Reef Trust and Mr. Mimoun for joining us today. So I think if there is no question and no nothing, so I like to end the seminar. But I want to have some closing remarks from Mr. Mimoun. If you want to make any closing remarks to your participant.
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, the closing remarks, thanks again for that. And for the closing remarks, I think it's as you mentioned, in 1 hour, it's difficult to cover all of that, all of the different programs, but it gives you an idea about our offering. Again, I put my email and my WhatsApp number there. If you have any question, let me know. This is the most important thing. And again, I just want to, because we are approaching end of Ramadan and Eid, and it's going to be a long weekend for the people in the UAE, and for some of them celebrating. So Eid Mubarak again, and for the rest, because we've seen people from different parts of the world. God bless you. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much for today. It was a great pleasure and honor being with you today, and thank you very much for listening.
Okay. Thank you very much all, so you have a wonderful day and a week and coming months and a years, and be safe and stay home. Thank you very much, all the participants, so I will end the webinar now.